Hello, guys. Right, I figured it's maybe time that I re-released something that I did a long time ago. I say a long time ago. I think it was about March. I finished writing it, and it was a story that came to me in my sleep. Because most musicians and stuff like that, I'm not like nothing special. I'm just a normal guy who likes writing music. I'm not famous or anything like that. But this sort of came to me middle of the night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was a story. And I think just then there was something about this virus in China. We all know what that is now. But anyway, what I did is I actually wrote three quarters of this story, showed it to a few people, and I become persecuted, like Notter down the road. He thinks we're all going to be locked in our houses and not be allowed out. He reckons they're going to try to make it like North Korea. Ha ha ha. And I was a laughing stock and, called names. And I actually really didn't have a very nice experience of it at all. I thought these people were quite nice and I quite liked them. And I just thought I'd let them listen to my music because I live on my own with my dog. Um, but anyway, long story short. So I just basically, I think it might even still be on YouTube somewhere. But so I just stopped. I stopped doing it, and I figured maybe I'll just go around the twist with being locked in and all this sort of stuff now. But it's now realising, and I do a lot with everybody else, and I'm completely behind everybody and support them and what they want to do and what they're doing at the moment. But when I say that, I don't mean these people that run out and do exactly as they're told because the government tells them to. I don't follow sheep. I think they're stupid, but maybe that was a sign given to me from someone. And you've got to bear in mind, I'm not like a religious person, much more than anybody else. I appreciate, but I really want people to listen to this because when I listen to it now, for the first time for a little while, I had to find it on my computer, in fact, just not long ago. And I've listened to it, and it sends shivers down my spine. How on earth could I have been? Well, it's not me because it didn't come from me. It was in a dream. So, it's what I want is I suppose put to bed the persecuting, the putting me down and calling me an idiot. I want nice people to listen to this story. And maybe it's a sign from the heavens of what to expect because you will not believe there's still a couple of things in there which haven't really been spoken about, but they spoke to me about that back then. And it's actually quite scary to be fair, but I've got to admit, you really have to listen to this. I haven't finished the story, but the reason I haven't finished the story is purely and simply because the way the story went, it went to this point. So I'm guessing whatever spirit or spiritual or dimension or whatever was talking to me and made me get out of bed to write this song, obviously music and stuff, obviously I can't give the answer to the rest of the story because we have to make it. And that's what Penny's dropped. And I think having people like you listening to it, maybe you could listen to it and give me some comments, and maybe we could all build the finish together. I think that's what the story is behind the end of it anyway. So I've tried several times to burn it down, but I can't seem to fit it onto the bloody thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just play it, okay guys, from there, and I hope I do it right. But I can actually play it all the way through because whenever I can't, so I can only go so far and then it gets too big. So here we go. This is the story. Tell me what you think. Enjoy. Amazing. Please enjoy this fictional story. Who'd have believed in the start of the 20th century that man was being stripped of his honour, his human rights, in plain sight of every man, woman and child, and that a population problem had led the elite few who run the world to take action and do a culling of the undesirables, meaning you and I. Things started to turn back to normal after they'd lifted the quarantines and, children playing outside, and we went back to work and everything was sort of fine. But they did say they have to keep a few people with illnesses to stay at home, just for their own protection. And obviously I've got a health condition, you see, so I thought, okay, I'll stay at home, that's good. And then it started to happen. I saw it with my own eyes. I could see police, army. The streets no longer looked like a free place to be. No longer like a street where everybody would congregate and enjoy each other's company. It was more like a war zone. I was watching people being dragged out of their houses. Wives, children screaming because daddy had to go and have a vaccination. Daddy had to be microchipped like an animal so he could be tracked everywhere he went. I remember they said to me, "You're a conspiracy theorist fool." A conspiracy theorist? I said I'd rather be a live conspiracy theorist than a dead fool. Any day. I'd rather be alive than a dead fool. Take a look around you, they are breaking all the rules. It's like choosing the red or green pill. This vaccination, would it kill? Don't believe everything they say. If you want to live another day, free, free. Anyway, everything was fine on the way up. The children were loving it. They thought, we're having a holiday. They didn't really realise, I don't think my parents or even my wife realised what I thought in my mind was the enormity of this pandemic, or should I call it a plandemic, what was happening. So we pulled in to get some fuel at the garage, and You know, I'm trying to snap out of this sort of paranoia that's running through my mind. Now, this bit here is also strange. It's, oh my god, it's just like so strange. But anyway, I'll carry on listening. You tell me where this came from. I pulled in and I said, get some fuel, filled up, and I went to the garage and I went to pay for my fuel. I put cash on the counter, and the guy said, sorry sir, we only take card. With the virus, the government have told us that everything's going to be card payments now. Straight away, what sprung to mind was my friend and his conspiracy that one day everything will be a cashless society. There will be no cash. He said you will have a chip in your arm and it will be like a digital currency. And this frightened me. I thought, maybe my friend is right. Maybe he's correct and maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. However, I had to go back to the wife and say, can I borrow her card? I didn't have my card. And I paid for the fuel. It's only a matter of time now. I'm sure it really is. The ticking of the clock is really what we've got. They'll do what they want to do. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter how, they'll do it to you. I didn't know what to put one and one together and come up with 7. I didn't have a clue. It was so painful. Just hearing people screaming and like completely lost and nothing, helplessness surrounded me. I couldn't do anything. I just had to protect my own family. I knew in my heart what was happening, but I know if I told my wife, she would not believe me. She would probably pack up and go and think that I'm just a lunatic. So, on with the rest of the story. I remember telling people, my friend in particular, I was with the street, and I remember seeing him. I shouted out, Peter, Peter, is that you? And it was Peter. I haven't seen Peter for, God, many years now. And I said to Peter, how are you, my friend? He said, I'm fine. Well, he said, I guess I'm fine. He said, look, Rob, he said, I have got a problem. It's my children. I said, oh my God, I hope they're okay. He said, no, it's not like ill or anything like that. He said, it's just, they don't seem like themselves. He said that you know my children. And actually I do know both these young lads, and they're twins. Jake and Stephen, lovely lads. Very, very, very polite people. I can't believe them being sort of doing anything wrong, really. So I asked him, I said, well, what's up? He said, Rob, he said, it's really strange. He said, on their birthdays, they were fine on their birthday. Everything was wonderful. We had a great time. I bought them both mobile phones. They were over the moon with them. They cost me a fortune. But a week after that, he said, they just seem to have changed. They don't sleep at nights. They get short tempers. And they're just not my children. They're different. They're like aliens. I didn't let John know, but To be honest, the symptoms that he told me, I've been having them myself. And it was only started, well, it started when the towers went up by my house. They said they were internet towers, which I thought was great. You can watch a film really quick. No downloading time. It was marvellous. But I did start to get headaches and irritable, and I thought I was going mad. And then I realised the similarities of what he was telling me. I believe it was something to do with the towers. I believe it really was something to do with the towers. That's the only explanation. That's why I was feeling like that. And he mentioned his children, and his children with their mobile phones. And I put two and two together, and I thought, that must be it. That must be why I was feeling so strange and sick and irritable and angry and all the things that John had said. I understood it. It was there. It was staring me in the face. It was something to do with the towers. It was later that night. I woke up, as I always do, same sort of time, 4 a.m. And I got up, and this memory came back to me. I remember I was talking to my friend, the professor, down at the university, and he said about the towers. I remember. He said the towers, they were very, very dangerous. They would give off so much radiation, cause brain tumours, aggravation, agitation, a lot of emotions that normally are suppressed because of the radioactivity can trigger all of these different emotions and make you angry and aggressive. It is little known about it back then. I wonder if he knows more about it now. I must put that in my diary before I go back to bed, just so I know. I'll call him, I'll phone him and ask him. I'll ask him. Yes, that's what I'll do. I'll ask him. He'll know. Right guys, that's part one. I can only do sections at a time, so hopefully that will be fine. So I shall stop this video and I'll play part two for you. I hope you're enjoying it, because it's bringing a few points to mind. Some points that are slightly on the wayside, but everything else is in this. It's absolutely, it frightens me. To be fair, it actually frightens me. So, like the towers, there's something about those as well. So let's listen to the second part.